On your mat this morning. Moving slowly, and slowly is the theme of this morning. This idea of pacing yourself and filling time. I'm doing a session this afternoon for UCSF Alumni Weekend. And I had been coming back to that idea of diastole and the heart and seeing with your heart. And what has come up recently is this idea of pacing and the heart needing filling time. And for those of you who are in medicine, which most of you are, this idea of not being able to live in SVT, which is supraventricular tachycardia, which is something we see in pediatrics all the time, moving through with a super fast heart rate, like a hummingbird. And so this idea that as humans, we need to pace ourselves. And when we pace ourselves and when we move slowly, we have that filling time. And so that is my invitation this morning, to move slowly and enjoy the filling time, remembering that a heart that fills fully in diastole has a much more impactful systole or ejection into your body. And that likely this is true for all of us, and that sometimes when we get into that SVT, moving far, fast, and not pacing ourselves, that we end up in a little bit of heart failure, or our version of that, whether it's reactivity and depletion and all the things. And so the invitation this morning is to slow down, to pace yourself, and to notice where you do this on the mat and off the mat, and how good it can feel to slow down and live a more paced life. So connect your ischial spines into the earth, move the flesh of the seat out of the way if you need to, tilt your pelvic bowl forward or anteriorly, that pubic symphysis is facing forward. Engaging your belly, wrapping a nice big hug around your belly, using all the belly muscles to support the back as you align each vertebrae all the way up through the crown of your head, reaching towards the sky, taking a huge inhale, filling yourself up with breath, and an exhale, letting it out. And a long, smooth inhale, enough time to fill your lungs fully. And then exhale, also enough time to let it out. When we push and rush, we don't let it fill and we don't let it release. Breathing in long and smooth, filling. And exhaling, letting it out, release, and enjoy. And notice your hands on your thighs, and if they're gripping or tight, I invite you to flip them over towards the sky, palms open, letting that light pour in, the air fill into the palms, and allowing yourself to connect with this idea of pacing and filling time. Where in your life might the invitation be to slow down? To slow down, notice, enjoy, perhaps fill and replete. Not so much as an urgent task, but along the way. When we pace ourselves, it happens naturally. We don't get to the depletion needing acute repletion. Our hearts function well, our bodies function well. Where might you invite some shifts? Remembering to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and enjoy. And bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, connecting with that heart space underneath. And noticing whether your heart has had filling time. Where has it been rushing through in tachycardia of any kind? Where does it need some better pacing? What would be kind to that heart space? Taking a huge breath into that pocket behind the heart, filling it with breath and nourishment. And exhale, creating space for the heart to fill with whatever it needs more of to fill. Breathing in once again. And out, release and let it go. And then pause to notice how you feel. Bring your hands to heart center, palms together, rub them together, creating a bit of warmth, kindness. Pressing the thumbs together, pressing them into your sternum, sending that warmth and kindness and compassion for perhaps not such fabulous pacing in your life thus far. And perhaps setting an intention to move forward with a little better pacing, a little more even pacing, a little less tachycardia. And just perhaps some loving amusement for the journey and the concept, and where you might need a little course correcting or adjusting of your heart rate. And a moment to remember that what we practice on our mat can also be brought with us off our mat. And noticing how good it feels to pace yourself and move slowly and appreciate and enjoy. And what might that be like to bring more of that into life off the mat? Huge breath in once again, letting that idea in circulate, percolate into every nook and cranny and every cellular structure in your body. And a huge exhale, release and let go. And we'll lower our hands and open our eyes, wiggling your fingers, letting your shoulders be loose, softening into everything. Part of the pacing is releasing the tension and the push and releasing the holding. Perhaps rub your hands on your thighs and just notice how it feels. Engage that belly, reach both arms up towards the sky, interlace your fingers, flip your palms up towards the sky, shimmy your sideways, take a huge inhale, reach, lengthen, tall. Exhale, round forward, suck your navel back, coming into a seated cat, moving slowly, pacing yourself. Inhale, reach tall and enjoy. Notice the movement here as you flow forward into cat. And as you pace yourself, enjoy the pacing itself. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, round forward, suck your navel all the way back, reach your palms towards the front of the mat. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, tip towards the right side, left hip reaches downward, left side body lengthens and stretches, huge inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, tip to the left, right side lengthens and opens. Come back to center. Inhale, reach tall. Engage your belly to protect your back. Exhale, tip to the right, lengthen the whole left side body. Come back to center. Last time to the right, pacing yourself, matching the breath with the movement. Notice what feels good to your body when you want to inhale, when you want to exhale. And come back to center. Lower your arms out towards the side, reclasp them at your sacrum, interlace your fingers, press your fists towards the floor, shoulders down and back, drop your chin to your chest and pause for a moment. Enjoy the stretch, the release, and a moment to just enjoy, to pause. The pause is where the filling happens and the heart feeds itself. And that is true for you. Making sure you have enough long pauses and short pauses, micro pauses. Huge breath in once again. Press the fingers and the fists towards the floor. Exhale, drop your chin a tiny bit more towards your chest and enjoy it. Bring your chin back to neutral. Release your hands and you're going to wrap them right in front of you, giving yourself a huge hug. Fingers come to the medial scapula. Lift your elbows up off your chest, being kind. Lower the elbows on top of the chest and roll forward as far as feels good.
Release the whole back, rolling and flowing a little more than usual today, but pacing it. Drop your head and neck towards the floor. Huge in-breath and squeeze tight. Exhale, let it out, fall forward a tiny bit more. Belly is engaged here to protect your back. Inhale, roll your head up to neutral. Untangle your arms, stretch them towards the side walls, lower them down by your sides. Scrunch your shoulders up all the way towards your ears. Drop your occiput into the shoulders. Exhale, release, and enjoy. Wrap your arms in the opposite direction easily. No need for a big stretch today. Wiggle your fingers towards the medial scapula. Lift your elbows up off your chest and lower them down. Roll forward. Sending more breath to any tight spots that might want some attention. Fold forward. Inhale, rise up to neutral. Untangle and lower your arms down by your sides. Take out whatever you're sitting on, coming to the floor, or if you need a blanket, you can use that. Move the flesh of your seat once again. Tilt that pelvic bowl forward and lower your hands in front of you. Walk your hands far in front, rounding your spine and lowering your head towards the floor. Shimmy a little on either side as you reach your fingers as far forward as you can, and drop your head and neck, release, and notice how you feel. Huge in-breath into every nook and cranny of the back and into the tight spots in the hips. Exhale, release. Walk your hands to the left. Place the right hand on top of the left and notice the shifts in the back body here. Move your head out of the way if it needs to be and enjoy that opening a little different. Notice your hips here. Walk your hands back to center and easily towards the other side, no rush. Enjoying the timing of it. Walk the left hand atop the right and breathe into the whole left side body here. Exhale, release, and enjoy. 2 more breaths here on the right. Bend the right elbow and lower down a tiny bit. Notice that subtle is significant. Tiny little shifts, creating space. And coming back and noticing your heart here, pacing itself well without effort, not controlling, just letting it be, letting it happen. Walking your hands back to center. Walk them forward another inch or 2 and enjoy the release in the hip here. Breathing into it and just enjoying for a moment. 2 deep breaths. Let your head and neck fall forward. 1 more breath here. Walk your hands back towards your shins, coming upright. Untangle your legs, stretch them wide, coming into a wide angle pose. Once again, find your ischial spines and your sit bones. Rock a bit, connect the sit bones deep into the earth, tilt the pelvis forward and stack your spine. You may notice already some stretch in the legs. Taking time here to enjoy it. Letting the time allow things to do their work without moving too much. Hinge at the waist. Hands can slide down both shins today towards the ankles, a little bit like turtle pose, but your knees are on the floor. Ankles will be flexed. Your toes can come up towards your knees. Your gaze is forward, back is flat, elbows gently bent. Enjoy the energetic shifts in the back of the legs. Draw your attention to your heart space here and notice if it's tight. Notice if it's hesitating to shine forward. Take an inhale into that retrocardiac space, the space behind the heart. Fill it with breath. Exhale, hinge forward a tiny bit more and shine that heart space towards the screen, towards everyone else here. Letting your heart shine forward, be seen, fill fully. Sending special intention to relax that heart space, to let it fill fully. Notice if you're holding it tight. Wiggle your toes, releasing some of that tension. Inhale. Exhale, slide your hands a little down towards your ankles if they'll go. Waist folds forward a tiny bit more. Back is flat and you're hinging at your hips here. Slide up your shins to your knees, to your thighs. You'll take your hands, tent them behind you like you have cupcakes under your fingers. Pick up your hips, slide them forward, sitting up nice and tall. Heart is shining forward, shoulders down and back, heels extending with intention. Ankles flexed, toes spread wide. Huge inhale into that heart space. Exhale, release and let it go. Bring your hands to your outer thighs, slide your legs together. Legs will be long in front. Once again, move the flesh of your seat. Knees can be bent gently. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward with knees wherever they feel good. Bent straight. Allow your back to round. Head falls forward. If your knees wish to press towards the floor, do that. Hands rest lightly on your shins. Huge breath into the back body here. Exhale, release. Huge inhale into every little tightness in the legs, the backs of the legs, the back. Huge breath in. Pace the breath. Notice when you're holding your breath. Give the lungs time to fill and time to empty, even as you're folding forward and releasing. One more huge breath here. Inhale into the back body. Exhale, as you pace and release, notice if you can slide forward a smidge more and how good it feels. Slide up your shins to your knees, to your thighs, and we'll slide our feet underneath us, coming to hands and knees this morning. Grab a blanket if you need it for your knees. And take a moment to set yourself up comfortably. Be kind to your wrists, kind to your fingers. All 5 fingers on each hand, equal pie shapes between, 5 knuckles press into the floor. Flatten the palms, engage the elbows, engage the humeral heads into the shoulder sockets. Knees are hips width. Inhale, come into cow pose and enjoy. Reach the crown of your head towards the sky, sit bones towards the sky. Exhale, round into cat, drop your head and neck. Navel reaches towards the sky as high as you can. Inhale, round into cow pose. Pace yourself here. Noticing that it's maybe flow or maybe it's pacing. Exhale, round into cat. Notice what wording feels good to you. No rushing. Inhale into cow pose once again. Exhale, round into cat, and take a moment here to pause and enjoy. Letting every little tiny muscle fiber in the back fill with oxygen, stretch, energy. Coming back to tabletop. Even out your knees, your hips, your hands. Stretch your right leg long behind. Inhale, raise it up to hip height. Engage the belly, heel presses towards the back wall. Inhale, left hand reaches long. Reach in either direction here. Huge breath in. Exhale, knee to elbow underneath you slowly. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, knee to elbow underneath. Pace yourself. Inhale, stretch long. Drop your left hand to the floor, right toe to the floor. Drop your right heel, reach your right arm up towards the sky, coming into gate pose. Exhale, drop your right arm over your right ear and wiggle those fingers towards the front. Right outer foot reaches towards the wall and the floor. Enjoy the hip, enjoy everything. Inhale, reach that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, drop it into the left hip crease, right shoulder rolls open, gaze towards the sky. Huge drink of breath into the chest. Filling completely all those nooks and crannies that open here. Gently tug that right shoulder back, gaze towards the sky. It's okay for your neck. Huge exhale. Noticing that filling time also requires time to empty. Reach the right arm up towards the sky. Drop your right hand towards the floor, bend the knee, come back to hands and knees. Take a moment to even yourself out. Huge in-breath and out-breath. Stretch your left leg long behind. Inhale, raise it to hip height a little below. Even out your belly, engage your belly. Reach your right arm long in front. Heel reaches in one direction, fingers reach in the other. Huge inhale, stretch long, long, long. Exhale, elbow to knee underneath. Inhale, reach long. Use the breath, the filling and the emptying. Exhale, tuck under. Inhale, reach long. Last one, knee to elbow underneath. Stretch long. Bring your right hand down, left toes down, pardon me. Drop your left heel to the right. Reach your left arm towards the sky, coming into gate pose. Exhale, lower that left arm over the left ear and enjoy the whole left side body here. Taking time to fill every nook and cranny with the breath here. Huge exhale. One more big, huge inhale. And exhale. Inhale the left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, drop it into the right hip crease. Roll that left shoulder open. Heart rolls open, gaze reaches towards the sky if that works for you. Taking a moment here to drink the breath in and letting the heart fill fully. Lots of space in the chest. Moving slowly. And no tightness, letting it fill fully without resistance, without controlling. One more breath here. Notice the left shoulder and tuck it back a tiny bit more, breathing into it, pouring the breath in. And exhale, release. Reach the left hand towards the sky. Come back to hands and knees. Bring your knees apart, toes together. Rock back into child's pose and walk those fingertips as far forward as you can. Really stretch long. Draw your hips and your knees back towards your heels. Enjoy the shoulders, enjoy the hips. Breathe in and exhale, sink in a little bit more. If you can, lower your third eye, forehead to the floor. Huge breath in once again. And exhale, release, enjoy. Two more breaths here. Exhale, let it out. Walk your hands back towards you, coming into hands and knees. Bring your hands forward to handprint, curl your toes, and lift up into downward dog. Try feet together today. Notice how it feels different. Notice what your hips would like to do when your feet are together. Press into your hands. Press your hips up towards the sky. Lower your head and neck towards the floor. Huge inhale. And exhale, release and enjoy. Two more big breaths here. Notice your head and neck and any tightness and release them. Huge in-breath. One more breath. Engage your belly. Connect the right ball of the foot to the floor. Raise your left leg towards the sky, coming into three-legged dog. Press the right heel towards the back wall. Everything engaged, strong, firm, and steady. Huge breath in here. Remembering to breathe. Exhale, gently flow that left foot in between your hands, coming into warrior two. Cartwheel your arms open, bend the front knee. Ensure your left knee is not extending beyond your left ankle, coming easily and gracefully into warrior two. Taking a moment here, wiggling fingers in either direction, setting your toes up beautifully, tuck the left hip back, the right hip forward gently. Gazes over the left middle fingers, pardon me. Inhale, straight that front knee, right hip shoots back. Bring the left fingers far forward, drop into Trikonasana or triangle pose. Pacing yourself here, breath in, pouring it down the right arm. Exhale, lower. One more breath here. Rise back upright. Bend the front knee once again. Bend the left elbow, reach your right arm over, coming into side angle pose and enjoying the whole right side body here. Pause for 2 breaths here, pacing yourself. Noticing what feels good. Cartwheel the arms back up into warrior 2. Pause here for 2 breaths. One more breath. Drop your right hand down the right thigh. Reach the left arm up towards the back crease between the wall and the ceiling. Fan open the front ribs into peaceful warrior. 2 breaths here. One more. Coming back into warrior 2. Cartwheel your arms towards the floor. You're going to hop your right foot outward, coming into a high lunge here. Slowly walk your hands up the left thigh, reach both arms up towards the sky. Inhale, sink into that right hip and pause and enjoy for a moment here. Exhale, release. Inhale, straight your front knee, moving slowly. Exhale, release, remembering to breathe. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. Bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, hinge at the waist, fold forward halfway, and pause. Notice as you pause here and you move slowly and pace yourself, different things engage. You can stay here, or you can inhale and twist to the right in a high lunge twist. Tuck your right elbow onto the left thigh, palms together, and pause in a high lunge twist. 2 breaths here. Notice if you're holding your breath. Notice your pacing and notice what works for your body today. Don't overdo it. Coming back to center with hinged halfway. Rise upright. Reach your arms tall towards the sky. Inhale, stretch tall and enjoy. Exhale, sink in and enjoy. Noticing when you move slowly, lots of different things happen that we miss when we move fast. Lower your hands towards the floor. Hop the back foot forward, a couple footprints. Coming into pyramid pose, left hip back, right hip forward. 3 breaths here. Long and slow and enjoy. One of the reasons I love Hatha yoga, which is what I teach, it's not vinyasa, is because of the pacing. It's deliberately paced. It allows for that filling time and that repletion time. Step the back foot forward to meet the front foot. Bring your hands to your elbows and fall forward into an easy forward fold. If you have high blood pressure, keep your head up and hang out here for 3 breaths. Lift your toes up, wiggle them around. Notice if anything is clenching. Notice if you're not breathing. And with intention, let your heart fill. We can allow ourselves to fill more fully. Many of us are so tight and busy and unpaced in SVT that we don't let that happen. And then we wonder why we're exhausted. So gifting yourself this time. Release your hands towards the floor, engage your belly and roll up as tall as you can, but inch by inch, no hurry. Pace the roll up, noticing when you do the roll up, how amazing it feels. When you arrive at the top, pause. Give your body literally time to fill down to your toes, down to your fingers, letting things refill, reorganize, wiggling your toes, noticing again if there's spots you're clenching that are not receiving the blood
not receiving the energy, allowing yourself to refill and replenish. Bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, pausing to enjoy, to notice. Huge breath in here and out. 3 breaths of allowing yourself to pace your breath, pace your heart, and an invitation to look at where you might need to spend more time refilling, pacing, moving slowly. Where might moving slowly and smoothly in the end result in being somewhere different faster? Maybe that's actually all you need to do and you don't need to be anywhere different. One more big breath in. Lower your hands by your sides. Inhale your arms out and up towards the sky. Reach your arms out wide. Palms come together, slight arch back. Enjoy the pacing of the forward fold as you fold forward, hands together. Head reaches towards the floor. Release the back, release the legs. Inhale for a half lift, slow and smooth. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, lower down. Once again, inhale for that half lift. Slow and steady, nowhere else to be. Allowing every spot in the backs of the legs to get a little attention and love. Exhale, fold forward. Press your palms into the earth. Step back to downward dog and pause. Notice here the refilling that's possible in this upside down position. Once again, I invite you to keep your legs together today, feet together, and just notice it feels different. Feels a little awkward and unfamiliar. And when we put ourselves in unfamiliar spots, different things happen. So softening into this unfamiliar and just see what might happen with curiosity and non-striving, not gripping, letting your heart relax, letting your lungs fill, noticing where your breath is catching. Huge in-breath and out-breath. Allow the breath to fill completely. And with the pacing, empty completely too, not forcing it. Lifting up high on your tippy toes, as high as you can. Press into your hands, press your hips back towards the sky, drop your head and neck, and enjoy. And slowly lower your heels and notice. Notice when we move slowly, what happens? Lots of different shifts. Huge inhale into the heart space. Exhale, release. And notice on the relaxation, the heart fill. Notice when it softens, how much more readily it fills. Coronary arteries have space to take care of your own heart yourself. We often want others to take care of it, but we can take care of it by pacing ourselves well, allowing filling time. Notice the left ball of the foot, connect it into the earth with intention. Lift up the 5 toes on the left foot, lower them down. Engage your belly with kindness. Inhale your right leg towards the sky. Come into 3-legged dog. Everything engaged here, strong, enjoying the attention and the constriction. Huge in-breath. Flow your right foot between your hands, cartwheeling open into warrior 2 on this side, taking care that the right foot reaches far enough in front, right knee as it bends does not extend beyond the ankle. Arms cartwheel open, gazes over the right middle finger. Notice your left hand, and if it's dropped, even out. Tuck your right hip back, left hip forward. Huge breath in and out, sinking into a strong warrior 2. Crown of the head reaching towards the sky. Heart is shining, shining forward. Exhale, sink in. Inhale, straight the front knee. Left hip shoots back, right hand shoots forward. Drop into Trikonasana, or triangle pose. Notice what version of it feels right to you. Roll that left shoulder open. 3 breaths here.
If you have a block or need a block, feel free to grab. If your hand needs to be up high, you can do that. Neither's better or worse. Notice where you can pace yourself in terms of pushing the poses too. Doing the pose that allows you to take the biggest deep breaths, allows your heart to fill the most, and allows your body to feel and enjoy and experience and notice the most. That's what pacing is. Huge breath in. Exhale, rise up, bend the front knee, come back to warrior two and pause here and enjoy. 2 breaths to enjoy. Exhale, sink in. The warrior poses are strong, strengthening, rebuilding poses, refilling, allowing yourself to enjoy that, noticing your heart fill here, noticing your lungs fill fully and empty fully. Bend your right elbow, reach the left arm over, creating space in the whole left side body here, side angle pose. Wiggle those left fingers as far forward as you can. Stretch long, 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 huge breath in. Exhale, release. One more breath here. Cartwheel back up to warrior two, pause, 2 breaths. Slide your left hand down your left thigh, reach your right arm over, coming into a beautiful, graceful, peaceful warrior. Enjoying every nook and cranny of that right rib cage. 3 breaths. Come back to warrior two. Cartwheel your arms down towards the floor, hop that right foot out, come into a high lunge. Your right foot will hop out a couple inches, your left foot a nice runway, both toes reach towards the front. Reach your arms up towards the sky and sink in. Enjoy the left hip flexor here. Huge breath in. Exhale, sink down and enjoy it. 2 breaths here. Noticing different little muscles and fibers and nerves, things waking up. And as you pace yourself, that you have time to enjoy them and notice them and appreciate them. 2 more big breaths here. Bring your hands to heart center. Hinge forward at the waist and pause halfway. Thumbs come right into that sternum, sending your heart some love and attention. Breathing deeply, filling fully and emptying fully, no holding your breath. Huge breath in. If you wish, hook the left elbow to the right thigh, coming into a high lunge. This is a squunchy up pose, ensuring that you breathe, sending the breath all the way to the right heel, the right calf, deep into that belly. Noticing if this is too much and pace yourself. 1 more breath. Come back to center. Pause, reach your arms up. Exhale, sink in for a final enjoy here. Lower your hands to the floor, hop the back foot forward, coming into a pyramid pose. Tack that right hip forward, left hip back. Sorry, other way around, right hip back, left hip forward. Either one will feel good. Bring your left foot to meet the right. Hang out here in a forward fold for a moment. Bring your hands to your sacrum, clasp them, reach the fist towards the sky. Exhale, allow the hands to flow forward, release your head and neck. Notice here gripping, filling time, filling space. Sometimes we offer ourselves the time, but not the space. Filling time is relaxing, breathing into it. Filling and emptying fully, sending that breath into the shoulder areas, huge breath in. Exhale, release a smidge more. Lower your hands to your sacrum. Run them with kindness down the backs of your thighs, your calves to your toes. Engage your belly and roll up towards the sky. Unrolling, enjoying, and letting every nook and cranny as you arrive fill. Fill with blood, fill with the sensations, wiggle your fingers.
inviting it into every little tiny spot and taking a moment to enjoy it. 3 deep breaths standing here. Letting yourself recalibrate. Noticing the natural pacing that your body is choosing right here as you pause. And perhaps inviting yourself to notice when you override that most of the time. And we'll slowly transition down to a seat. Once again, slowly transitioning. Bend your knees, engage your belly, and slowly rock back onto your hips. Raise your shins to hip height. You can slide your hands behind your calf, but behind your thighs, pardon me, coming into boat pose. For those of you who want to keep your knees bent, totally fine to keep the energy out of your hip flexors. Reach your hands forward, or you can extend long, whatever feels good to you. Using your belly here, wiggling your toes and your fingers, noticing where you're gripping, even as you pause. Bring your hands back to your thighs and allow yourself, using your belly, to roll back down towards the floor. You'll bring your knees in towards you. Give them a huge hug when you arrive. Rock side to side, allowing yourself to arrive. 3 deep breaths. As you massage and enjoy. Lower your feet towards the floor. Bring your hands by your side, palms to the floor, and pause to arrive and notice. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Lower the toes, soles of the feet to the floor, palms to the floor. Press into the earth. Pick your hips up. Reach your hips towards the sky. Shimmy your shoulders underneath you. Coming into a bridge pose. Enjoy the back body here. Invite the energy and the filling into every little cell there. Breathing into it. Appreciating them and thanking them for all that they do. Reach those hips towards the sky. Breathing into it. Exhale, untuck the shoulders, unroll, bring your hips towards the floor and pause. Untuck your shoulders. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. And for today, I'm going to offer Shavasana here, as it is known to be one of the most restorative poses. And the invitation is to enjoy and set the intention to refill and restore. Hand to heart, hand to belly. Huge inhale. And a long, smooth, matching exhale, ending. Taking a moment here for a refill. Taking time to refill. And doing so in a space where you're so fully relaxed that the energy is welcome everywhere. I invite you to settle in for a few moments here of refilling, restoring, and replenishing. Bring your attention back to your breath.
Noticing your chest and belly rise and fall. Wiggling your fingers and your toes here. Deepening the breath. Bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs, drawing your knees together gently and slowly. Pace yourself here. And you'll roll over to one side and pause. Use your hands for a pillow. Knees are bent. And just notice how you feel in this moment. When you're ready, slowly press into your hands, forearms, and come up to a comfortable seat where we began. You can sit up atop something if you wish, or just allow yourself to arrive right back into that Shavasana. Bring your hands to your thighs, find your sit bones, root them into the earth, tilt your pelvis forward and align your spine towards the sky. Take in an inhale, long, deep, full drink of breath, sending it all the way down into your belly, into your pelvis, into your legs, all the way into your toes. And an equal letting go, emptying. Bringing a hand to heart and another hand atop. Connecting with that heart space. Perhaps setting an intention to let your heart fill and to pace yourself, creating time and space for both the filling and the emptying, and the feeling and the noticing. And that when we pace ourselves well and we move through the world more slowly and not in tachycardia, that our systole and our efforts result in much more full, sparkly, and complete outcomes. Taking in one more inhale, sending yourself well wishes, sending everyone here well wishes. And a huge exhale, release, sending the kindness, well wishes out into the world. Bring your hands to heart center, rubbing them together, warming them up, creating heat and energy. And with the invitation of pacing, bringing the thumbs together and sending that heat and energy and warmth and safety of slowness right into your heart space underneath. Gifting yourself this idea of slowness and filling and doing things in their own time. Thank you all so much for practicing with me this morning. May you all be well. May you all take time to fill, take time to empty, and move through the world in a way that feels well paced to you. Have a beautiful week.